on the auto show and the global state of the industry, Richard Gregory joins us now via Skype. He's a professor of finance at East Tennessee University. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for your time. Now, what's your take on these flying cars? Do you see a realistic climate for something like this in the market?
Well, flying cars have been promised to us for decades, and there seems to have always been an interest in them. It'll be interesting to see how they'll pass the regulatory environment. That's always been the big stumbling block in bringing them to market.
It certainly looks like something out of those space cartoons I used to watch as a kid. Now, in terms of the actual show itself, big names such as Honda, Hyundai, Nissan were absent. Likewise, premium automakers like Audi and Porsche. Why were some of these mainstream automakers a no-show this year?
Because generally automakers have found that it's much better idea to promote new models through glitzy online campaigns rather than doing them at expensive auto shows. Through like Apple does with the iPhone. It just makes much more sense. I mean, we've seen that this year. In 2018, there were 69 new models revealed at the North American International Auto Show. This year, only 8.
Okay. Now, President Joe Biden toured the Detroit Auto Show on Wednesday, praising many car manufacturers for their electric vehicle plans. How do you think electric cars are reviving the auto industry?
Well, we keep in mind that prior to COVID, there really was practically only one automaker making electric cars. That was Tesla. And now we have everybody sort of dipping their foot into the market. So things have really opened up for electric vehicles, and the range has improved, and they have become pretty practical for urban environments, though the practicality still somewhat eludes them outside of urban environments, though the president's announcement of establishing electric charging facilities throughout the country is a step towards trying to make that possible.
The cost of electric cars, though, still seems to make it quite inaccessible for the broader public. At what point do you think an electric car will be something every Joe Blow could probably manage to buy?
That's going to be a very tough stumbling block. The price of lithium keeps going up, and for batteries, seems to be going up. And there doesn't seem to be any end in sight to that trend at the moment. Until we get new sources of lithium online and ways of making lithium more accessible and easier to make into batteries, I think lithium is going to stay expensive.
Now, the Inflation Reduction Act signed by US President Joe Biden to tackle climate change isolates other countries, including China, from the global supply chain. Tell us more about what impact this has on China's auto industry and what it could also mean for US car makers.
Well, the Inflation Reduction Act is going to make it more difficult for China to compete in offering electric vehicles in the United States. The act definitely targets making production in the United States. So that means in order for China to compete, they're going to have to shift production to the United States. It obviously favors U.S. manufacturing. However, the hitch is that most of the incentives are geared more towards the future. They don't really apply to U.S. automakers' current lineup of cars. So it's not something that's going to benefit them right away.
All right, really appreciate your insight there. Richard Gregory, a professor of finance at East Tennessee University.